The Solari had been classified as Class 2 on the Galactic Threat Assessment Matrix. On a scale where Class 16 represented species capable of systemic genocide and Class 1 indicated complete pacifism, humanity's placement spoke volumes about the Concordance's understanding of them, or rather, our complete misunderstanding. I had reviewed the Solari file myself when they first petitioned for Concordance membership. The data was unambiguous. Centuries without internal warfare, planetary unification achieved through referendum rather than conquest, first contact protocols that emphasized cultural exchange over territorial claims. Every interaction since their admission had reinforced this assessment. When the VRYX collective claimed the mineral-rich moon orbiting New Kyoto, a thriving Solari colony world, the Concordance Security Council anticipated armed conflict. The VRYX were Class 12 aggressors, known for their expansionist doctrine. The humans should have defended their territory. Instead, they negotiated. Within a week, the Solari had ceded the moon in exchange for a modest annual tribute and exclusive trading rights to 3 VRYX agricultural worlds. The arrangement somehow transformed bitter rivals into the Concordance's most profitable bilateral trade partnership. The incident with the Kesh sovereignty was even more revealing. When Kesh intelligence operatives detained 3 Solari envoys on fabricated espionage charges, a transparent attempt to extract diplomatic concessions, I had drafted deployment orders for a rescue operation. Standard protocol dictated that imprisoned diplomats constituted an act of war. The humans filed no protest. They sent no warships. They simply opened quiet channels with Kesh merchant guilds and arranged a prisoner exchange. Their ambassadors were a handful of Solari traders caught smuggling Kesh artifacts. The sovereignty's face was saved. The ambassadors returned home, and somehow the Kesh ended up purchasing Solari surveillance technology 6 months later. Opinion on the Solari varied throughout the Concordance. Some praised their sophisticated diplomacy and shrewd economic maneuvering. Others, myself included, recognized their behavior for what it truly was: weakness disguised as strategy. A species that would surrender territory rather than fight for it, that would negotiate with kidnappers rather than mount a military response. Such a species lacked either the strength or the courage for real warfare. I held this view with certainty until the Reapers came. We knew little about them except what they left behind. Dead systems, stars drained to ember cores, planets frozen in permanent night. They moved through our spiral arm like a consuming shadow, extracting stellar energy through mechanisms our finest scientists couldn't decipher. Their technology was centuries beyond our own, their fleet vast enough to blot out suns. The 3 most militarily capable species in Concordance, my own Karek's Dominion, the VRYX Collective, and the Kesh Sovereignty, assembled a combined armada to intercept them at the Fresh system. 12,000 warships, the greatest military force ever deployed in our sector's history. We lasted 47 minutes. Their weapons carved through our shielding like it was decorative lighting. Our most advanced munitions detonated harmlessly against their hull plating. We fought with every tactical doctrine, every strategic advantage we possessed. It made no difference. By the time I ordered the retreat, we had lost 9,000 vessels. I transmitted a distress signal to every Concordance world within range, requesting immediate military reinforcement. The response was silence. The secondary-tier military powers, species with respectable but not dominant fleets, chose self-preservation over collective defense. They scattered to their home territories, abandoning us to face annihilation alone. For 16 hours, my remaining forces limped toward the nearest defensive position, knowing the Reapers would pursue and finish what they had started. Then the sensor grid detected incoming vessels. 7 ships, according to preliminary scans. Far too few to make any tactical difference, but more than the 0 reinforcements sent by our supposed allies. My tactical officer identified them immediately. Commander Prime, the vessels are Solari class. They're hailing us. Put them through, I said, though I could barely muster gratitude for this pathetic gesture. What did the humans think they would accomplish with 7 ships against an enemy that had demolished 12,000? The view screen activated, showing a human with dark skin and close-cropped gray hair. She wore the simple uniform of the Solari Defense Corps, a military so rarely deployed that most Concordance strategists forgot it existed. Concordance vessels, This is Captain Elena Vasquez of the SDL Righteous Fury. We receive your distress call. Transmitting tactical coordination now. I incline my head with what little dignity remained. Captain Vasquez, I am Commander Prime Thex of the Calrix 3rd Fleet. Your response is appreciated. However, the tactical situation is beyond salvage. I suggest you join our formation and help screen our retreat. The human's expression shifted, not to fear or tactical concern, but to something resembling confusion. Retreat? Commander Prime, our mission parameters are engagement and neutralization of hostile forces. With 7 ships? My translator barely captured my incredulity. Captain, the Reapers number in the thousands. They destroyed an armada 20 times your size. I respect your courage, but I don't expect a diplomatic species to understand practical warfare. Follow our lead, and perhaps some of us will survive. Captain Vasquez's confusion deepened. Diplomatic species? Commander Prime, why would you think Solari are diplomatic? The question was so absurd, I nearly laughed. Because you avoid conflict. You resolve disputes through negotiation. Your rated class, 2 on the threat matrix, practically pacifist. Ah. The human's expression cleared with sudden understanding. I see the miscommunication. Commander Prime, we don't avoid conflict because we can't fight. We avoid conflict because we're very, very good at it. Nobody in this sector has given us sufficient reason to demonstrate that capability. She glanced off-screen, then back. Until now. Before I could respond to this delusional statement, her tactical officer called out something in their human language. Captain Vasquez nodded crisply. Firing solution acquired. Deploying cascade protocol. Commander Prime, I recommend you increase distance from our position by at least 2 million kilometers. Immediately. Were you? We've never field-tested this weapon, she said with disturbing casualness. Theoretical models suggest a 3.7% probability of runaway quantum cascade. If that happens, it won't stop at the Reapers. It'll keep spreading until it unravels atomic bonds across the entire sector. My blood went cold. You're deploying an untested doomsday weapon? Here? Now! The simulations show 96.3% probability of controlled detonation, she replied, as though these odds were somehow reassuring. Weapons, Officer Chun, you may fire when ready. Wait! The human ship launched a single projectile,